Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do please, I know I ask this every time, but it really helps if you like and subscribe. And don't forget to leave me your comments, insults, etc. And for all the people who are concerned about the frog in my throat, yeah, it's definitely there. But it's not affecting the singing, is it? And we've got a second opinion on that. Yeah, the screaming goat. It loves my singing. I mean, the screaming is just like a fan club, like the Beatles used to get. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about a serious assault on a prison governor at HM Prison RANBY. RANBY, HMP RANBY, which is located in Nottinghamshire. The governor was suffered from a fractured skull, apparently. This incident took place on May the 16th, but it's just been reported in the Daily Telegraph, which you can look up today. Have a look at that, the Daily Telegraph. And it's caused a comment from the Prison Governors Association. The chairman of the Prison Governors Association, Mr. Tom Wheatley, who is advocating supermax conditions with segregation units inside the dispersal prisons of HMP. Well, all well and good. They've been tried before. Paul Sykes was once in one of them at Wakefield. Yeah, and much good did it do. But my opinion is, and having worked in them, that while they're all well and good and solve the problem for a while, they are not a massive deterrent. What we really need, and I keep advocating this myself, so Tom Wheatley, if you're listening, which I very much doubt, but you never know, do you? I would advocate that we have a massive supermax prison in an extremely remote location, preferably on an island, maybe one of the Falkland Islands. Be a good idea. We've got control of it. It's a great British protectorate. It's under the auspices of our government. And the inmates definitely would not want to be located there. But if they opt out of the conditions and normal society, which they already have, and they can't behave themselves in HM prisons, then Supermax Island, here we come. It was originally advocated by Lord Mountbatten in the Mountbatten Report in 1968, which is still available. You can have a look at that, Mr. Tom Wheatley of the Prison Governors Association, and Shamir Mahmood, who is the Minister of Justice, or the Minister of Injustice. I mean, I'm sure that's what the governor who's got the fractured skull and is still in hospital 3 weeks later. I mean, these are serious assaults. It's not that long since we had boiling oil thrown over officers and scalding water teamed over a prison officer. And an inmate stabbed at one of the staff at HMP Long Lartin from a homemade shank, a bladed weapon. Where will all this end? It will end, but it won't end actually, but there are going to be staff who are seriously injured, potentially murdered by these inmates, because we have within the prison system highly radicalised inmates who are sworn enemies of the state. But they're in Great Britain. So I suggest that we take them out of the mainland Britain and stick them in a remote location on a robotically operated supermax prison where they're confined to their cells and allowed out through the use of automated mechanised systems, pretty much like they have in America. You press the button, the cell door opens, out they come, but there's no staff there, just them on the landing, go to the gymnasium whenever it is in a specialised unit. And if they've advocated this themselves, they've opted for this because they will not operate within the standard prison system. They think they're something else. Well, give them something else. I seriously believe that is going to be the answer. But at the moment, we've got a governor in hospital who was governor at HMP RANBY and suffering from a fractured skull. And we all know that this is just the start of it. There seems to be more and more incidents of this. In fact, in the year 2024, throughout the prison system, there were over 10,600 physical assaults on both inmates and staff. That's approximately 150% increase over the year 2014. So within 10 years, we've seen the assault rate triple. Why is that? I mean, the lack of staff. I mean, when I worked at the big strong prisons such as Strangeways and the Scrubs, any attacks on staff were met fire on fire. So if you did attack staff, then stand by for action. And it's no good the woke brigade saying, well, that's not the way to deal with it. You know, you've got to give rehabilitation. I've got an idea about rehabilitation. I've got one of the ideas about rehabilitation. Rehabilitate that, you bastard. Eh? They want rehabilitation. I give them rehabilitation. All right, Tom Weekly. Yeah, get a load of that. But you're not going to get that when you're using the hostess brigade. They're going to dance round in handbags at dawn. What we need is some action. Where's the big boys? But you're not going to get the big boys if you're paying them peanuts. That's what they're basically paying. I mean, 25,000 a year, 30,000 a year. Where are you going to live? In a tent? Because you've got prison officers living in tents at the moment. You've imported them from Nigeria. Shamim Mahmood needs to get a grip. It's that time of day, folks. And I better warn you all, because I've got the song dinger here. There's a song dinger, folks. And we'll get a second opinion here. How are we going to do it? Are we going to sing today? Thank you very much. That was one of my fan club there. The goat. It's great having a goat as a fan, isn't it? Hey, you've got to love them, haven't you? These goats. Yeah. Here we go. Where are we at? I can't seem to get this. Come on, get out the way. There we are. I'm going to sing you a song now, originally recorded by Elvis Presley. This was, believe it or not, on the B side of his first record when he came out of the army, around about 1958. And it was on the flip side of The Girl of My Best Friend. This is A Mess of Blues. And I'm going to make a mess of it. You've no doubt about that, I know. Final warning. There you go. That was the final warning for A Mess of Blues by John G. Sutton. So stand by for action. I just got your letter, baby. Too bad you can't come home. I swear I'm going crazy, sitting here all alone. Since you're gone, I got a mess of blues. I ain't slept a wink since Sunday. I can't eat a thing all day. And every day it's just Blue Monday. Since you've been away, since you're gone, I got a mess of blues. Oops, there goes a teardrop rolling down my face. If you cry when you're in love, well, it sure ain't no disgrace. I gotta get myself together before I lose my mind. I'm gonna catch the next train going and leave my blues behind. Since you're gone, I got a mess of blues. Oops, there goes a teardrop rolling down my face. If you cry when you're in love, well, it sure ain't no disgrace. I gotta get myself together before I lose my mind. I'm gonna catch the next train going, then leave my blues behind. Since you gone, I got a mess of blues. Well, was that a mess or what? Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do please like and subscribe, comments down below. Don't forget to read my book, folks. John G. Sutton.